Welcome to Know and Awaken Your Soul's Unlimited Potential. My name is Eva and I'm so happy to have you here with me. And today I'm going to be continuing with the Akashic series where I'm going to be talking about blocks and restrictions. If you've been checking out my previous videos, you know at the end I normally do introduce soul realignment talk, which is the work that I do with the Akashic records, and how it can actually help you awaken your soul gifts, how it can actually help you tap into the unlimited potential you do have as a soul to create the kind of human experience that you want for yourself in this current lifetime. If you haven't checked out those videos yet, you can wait until the end of the video. I'm going to be posting a link to the previous videos I've done, or you can just go to my page and check out the link to the Akashic series. All the videos are linked there, so make sure you check in so that you actually get a feel of what I've been talking about all this time. So back to what I was talking about. What is currently blocking you from accessing your gifts? What's actually blocking you from manifesting or creating more of what you want? So here's what happens when it comes to the blocks that we create in our soul blueprint. It's not a one of choice or a one of decision that we make. Okay, so don't be scared that once you have the knowledge as to who you are at soul level, if you mess up once, that's it. Like that's it, you've already created a block in your soul blueprint. It doesn't happen like that. It's choices that you've made repeatedly over and over and over again, sometimes until the end of the incarnation, and then we continue with them in the next lifetime and the next lifetime. So it's choices that we've made over and over again, to the point that your soul cannot actually ignore these choices anymore. It creates a block in your soul blueprint. And you might ask, why do I need to know what these blocks are? Here's the thing. These blocks are blocking your access to vital force energy that we get from source. That's the motive. And you know, like 99.99% of us is energy, and we need energy in order to run, to experience life. We need energy in order to create more of or manifest the kind of life that we want for ourselves. So if you're blocking that access to that energy, it means we do not have energy to create more of what we want. We do have energy to continue existing, which is where currently most people are. They're just existing, they're just surviving, and it really doesn't have to be like that. The other thing with blocks and restrictions is that it's become so normalized for most souls that it kind of seems like normal. Like it's normal to get sick over and over again. And I'm not saying that once you have this knowledge you'll never get sick. Of course there are certain physical aspects that do step in that, you know, cause some kind of distortion inside of our body. Of course, if you're not eating right, if you're not taking care of yourself, you are gonna get sick. But for some people, getting sick actually has an element of energy attached to it. It's based on that block in their blueprint that's blocking their vital force energy. And of course, if they don't have enough vital force energy to even run their current physical body, it's gonna manifest itself in a very dysfunctional way. And for most people, it's actually in the form of sickness. But because it's been so normalized that it's okay, it's normal to get sick, it's normal to do this, right? Most people just accept that, you know, life is supposed to be like this. Most people accept that, you know, I'm not supposed to have more than enough money to survive on a daily basis. That wealth is for other people, and that's not true. You know, we've been I want to say hoodwinked by the media that, you know, wealth belongs to a certain class of people but not to all. So most people just live life assuming that just me having enough money for me to pay bills and to just continue existing on a normal basis, that's normal because everyone else is experiencing that. But what you don't know is that everyone else is experiencing that because nowhere, most majority of the people are not living aligned to who they are at soul level. They've made so many choices that negate who they actually are at soul level, creating so many blocks. So that's why when you look around, you're gonna see so much suffering, so much lack created all around you, and think that it's normal, but it's not normal. And you can actually see evidence of this when you look at the people who actually do have wealth. People who've come from, you've had so many stories of rags to riches stories, right? Like people who came from the worst possible circumstances and actually were able to triumph through that and create an extraordinary experience for themselves. That doesn't happen by chance. They made so many choices, so many radical choices that actually took them from out of their negative karma that they had created for themselves and started to actually create positive karma. And this kind of power is actually available to each and every soul in existence. We all have a part of the divine inside of us. It's only that most people are not aware of that. And that's why I'm doing this video, to just bring this knowledge to as many people as possible, because people really do need to know this. And here's the thing, if a lot of people start tapping into this, we actually now start changing the world, how the world is seen. Like when we start making it normal to be wealthy, making it normal to be healthy, making it normal to have the best relationships, it's gonna be normal for everyone. So now people will be looking at their suffering existence and thinking like, no, that's not normal. I need to create this abundance that I'm seeing everywhere else. And the only way to do that is just by remembering who you are at soul level. Okay, so blocks, like I said, it's not a one-off decision that you make. So don't be scared that if you make a certain mistake right now, you're gonna have to keep on making up for it over and over again. No, as long as you've learned your lesson, as long as you course correct. Here's the other thing, right? Like so many people are so scared of making mistakes, assuming that once they make a mistake, like that's it, like that's the end of the existence. Like I want to say you cannot correct that mistake, which is not true. You can actually correct. Yes, you cannot undo that mistake, but you can purpose to do better going forward. Okay, learn your lessons and do better going forward. So making a mistake or being afraid to make a certain choice because you're so terrified of failing is not really a valid excuse, because that's the only way we learn, right? That's the only way we learn as souls. It's by making mistakes. Not all the time, right? We'll make mistakes, and once we learn not to do a certain thing in a certain way, we're gonna do better going forward. Okay, so don't ever get scared that now that you have the consciousness that you can mess up, you are allowed to mess up. That's the part of the experience that we signed up for. That's how we learn our souls. And you know, the beauty of actually learning through experience is that we actually integrate. You know, once you make a mistake, chances are you're not going to repeat that mistake ever again, right? Because you've learned your lesson. You've learned that when I touch a fire, I'm going to get burned. So I'm not going to go there back to the fire again tomorrow and touch it, because I know now I have awareness that touching that fire is going to burn me. And that's the beauty of our existence. And that's how I want you to look at the current blocks you currently have in your life. Okay? The other thing I love to say is that it is possible to clear or disconnect from your past karma. So here's the thing, right? Like so many people or so many souls currently feel a need to continue making up for past mistakes. Okay, you might not even be conscious of this. It could be a very subconscious or unconscious kind of thing you're doing. It's kind of like you've probably hurt people in the past, or you made so many mistakes that your soul feels like, I need to continue making up for this mistake over and over again. Okay, so most people don't want to get rid of the bad karma, because it means it's kind of like, I'm not learned in the lesson yet. I want to continue suffering until I feel like I've paid for my past debts. But it doesn't have to be like that. Like I always say, you are in complete control of your life. And if you're watching this video, take this as a sign that your soul is actually ready to release all this past karma. Your soul is actually ready to let go of all the mistakes you made in the past. And it is actually possible to create new karma for yourself. Because what happens now, when you go through a soul realignment reading, when you actually get to access your Akashic records and discover what mistakes you made in the past life that you're currently repeating now going forward, you have awareness that I'm not going to make the same mistakes again. Because right now you know that if your current mistake, if your past life mistake was maybe you made something that you negatively intentioned someone to experience something horrible in their life, which came back to you, now going forward, you have awareness that the minute you're wishing bad on someone else, you're actually returning that energy for yourself. So you're not going to make the mistake now. You have awareness as to how you created that bad karma in the past. So the other thing for blocks and restrictions is that most people might ask that, or some people might ask, why do I need to know my past life? Why do I need to know my past life choices? What does it have to do with my current life? Why do I need to know my blocks, right? And here's the answer to that. One is that your past life choices, there's no disconnect to your past life, to who your soul was in the past life and to who your soul is right now. If you actually identify certain blocks in your soul blueprint right now, it means that in your current experience, you're still making the same mistakes. You're still making the same choices. You're still repeating the mistakes of your past. Okay, and again, like I said, most of us are repeating them unconsciously, right? Because we tend to attract people who are a vibrational match to who we are. So if you have certain blocks in your particular blueprint, you keep on attracting circumstances, situations, and people who have an energetic quality to this particular block and restriction. It could be that maybe in a previous lifetime that there were different players in the game, right? There were different players in the game or different situations in that particular lifetime. But in this current lifetime, you might not attract the same kind of players, but the energetic quality of the mistakes that you made or the choices you made in the past, you'll be attracting the same in this lifetime. Okay, so if you're still continuing to entertain certain situations and people that no longer serve your soul, you're actually gonna be repeating past life patterns right now. And that's why the awareness of what your choices were in that particular lifetime that you're currently repeating right now is so vital, because it gives you awareness not to make the same mistake again. And that's the beauty of it, right? That's why I love this work so much, because it's kind of like giving you power, your power back. Okay, because we incarnated into this experience with amnesia, right? Like most of us forgot the mistakes we made in the past. Like it's kind of like we were thrown into the pit and just figure your way out, right? That's basically how most of us are living our life. But the divine has actually given us this gift of awareness to actually realize that there is a path out of this, if you so choose it. And like I said, it's about free will. If your soul, or if you're watching this, decide that, you know what, I don't want to let go, that's completely okay. If you're comfortable in the suffering, although I don't know anyone who's currently will actually say that I'm okay with just getting sick each and every day, I'm okay with having the worst kind of relationships possible, I'm okay with never having enough money. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone saying that. Most people are usually dreaming of abundance, creating an abundant experience for themselves. Most people are actually wishing for that, but they're not willing to do anything to actually acquire that. And part of doing anything to actually acquire that is getting more vital force energy, so that you can be able to create more and more of what you want for your experience. Okay, so with blocks and restriction, having awareness of the mistakes you made in the past can be so vital into how you create your life going forward. So I hope you resonate with this so much. I'm sending you so much love. Let me know down below if you have any comments about this. Let me know about your current experiences. What kind of situations and people have you noticed that you've been attracting over and over again into your experience? What would you actually want to let go of as a soul, as a person, in order to create more of what you want? Because you gotta walk away from the past if you want to create something new. Okay, so I hope you resonate with that. Connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. You can check out my links down below in the description box. And as always, in all my videos, I always end by sharing how I can actually help you with soul realignment work, which is the work that I do with Akashic Records, to actually energetically heal your soul blueprint and return it back to its original integrity. Okay, because now when you know who you were originally created to be, and now you have awareness as to what has been blocking you from being the soul that you're created to be, now you actually have the power, right, to create more of what you want. So with soul realignment work, this is what you'll be getting. You'll be getting access to who you were created to be, what your particular energy center is, what your particular soul gifts in this particular energy center is. Like what I said at the beginning of the video, that all souls are gifted in certain things, but most people have no awareness as to what their gifts are. They just assume that gifts belong to certain special people who have the most extraordinary experiences, the musicians, the actors, the writers that we see, right? And that's not the case. We are actually most of us, not all souls, most souls are divinely gifted in their own right. And if you want to access your particular soul gifts, you can actually get to determine that with soul realignment work. Number 2, you get to identify what choices actually take you away from your soul blueprint, right? apart from the blocks and restriction, which I was talking about earlier, each energy center, it has particular dysfunctional aspects of it. So you actually get to identify what the dysfunctional aspect of your soul group is, so that if you're making choices that have that particular dysfunctional aspect, then you know that I'm actually starting to create blocks in my energy center, and I'm creating more and more of what I don't want. Okay. Number 3, you actually get to discover where your soul is originally from. Okay, your particular soul group. You actually get to identify the particular characteristics of that particular soul group, and the particular gifts you can actually leverage from this particular soul group to create more of what you want. And again, you also get to identify the dysfunctional aspect of our soul group, because soul groups do have dysfunctional aspects of it. So if you want to know the dysfunctional aspect of your soul group, you can actually check out the soul realignment reading for that. Then again, you also get to identify where you currently are vibrationally. And what I mean by that is where you currently getting your divine guidance from. Okay, is it from a 5th dimension level? Is it from a 6th dimension? Because there are people who are in the 6th dimension, right? You can actually be able to measure that with soul realignment work, and also know how to be able to tap into raising a vibration in order to create more of what you want. The other thing you get to access now with the soul realignment work is what I was talking about in this video, which is the blocks and restriction. Blocks and restriction, what is currently blocking you from accessing your divine gifts? What's been blocking you from creating the kind of experience that you want from yourself, creating more abundance in your health, creating more abundance in your relationship, creating more abundance in your money? What has been blocking your access to vital force energy in order to create more of what you want? So with soul realignment work, you actually get to identify those particular choices or those particular actions that you've been taking on a daily basis that have been blocking you from doing just that. So if you're curious about that, I leave the link down below for soul realignment. You can look at reading with me if you want, or if you have more questions to this, do connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm always happy to share my information and assist you in any way possible. And again, if you're new to my channel and you also like the kind of content I do share out here, and you like to be receiving more, do make sure that you subscribe, and also click on the notification bell that's next to the subscribe button, so that you might be getting alerts for each and every time I share out a post. For now, sending you so much love and so many virtual hugs, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye for now.